Hidden within the folds of the Basque Mountains lies a different Spain, fierce and authentic. From Valladolid, we head north to explore three unique gems: Logroño, the wine city of La Rioja, where the majestic Cathedral watches over ancient cellars; Salinas de Añana, a true masterpiece where salt terraces carved out over 6,500 years create a surreal landscape; and Vitoria-Gasteiz, a historic capital that takes us through a maze of preserved medieval alleys. We arrive at the heart of Logroño, and the Mercado San Blas immerses us in the vibrant life of La Rioja. Under its iron and glass structure, a symphony of colors and aromas surrounds us. The stalls overflow with local products. We now stroll down Calle Portales, an essential artery in the historic center. It's impossible to resist the charm of this pedestrian street, connecting two of the city's major squares, Plaza del Mercado and Plaza del Espolón. We are quickly drawn in by the distinctive atmosphere of this street lined with arcades, some dating back to the 16th century. Once a significant stop on the Camino de Santiago, today it pulses with the rhythm of shops, tapas bars, and lively terraces. Beneath its arches, past and present mingle, offering visitors a rich taste of Logroño's unique ambience. Plaza del Mercado has been the beating heart of the city since the Middle Ages, when it hosted the market. Surrounded by historic buildings, including the St. Blas Church with its iconic twin towers, the square has retained arcades from its past, now home to tapas bars and terraces. But the true star of the square is undoubtedly the majestic Concatedral Santa Maria de la Redonda, a former collegiate church turned co-cathedral. Its twin towers, topped with domes, which have earned it the nickname the Twins, are impossible to miss. This unique feature is part of what makes it so famous. We leave this majestic witness of the past to visit another exceptional religious building, San Bartolome Church. Built between the 12th and 13th centuries, it's one of the oldest in the city. Its Romanesque facades, with pointed arches and a central oculus, reflects its long history. After the spiritual interlude, we head to a significant site of civil power, the town hall of Logroño. We leave the historic center to reach an iconic spot in modern Logroño, the Glorieta del Dr. Zubia. This vast circular square is dedicated to Dr. Zubia, a prominent 19th century physician and botanist from Logroño. At its center stands a monument in his memory, surrounded by a pleasant green space. The Glorieta is flanked by the Instituto de Educación Secundaria Segasta, an imposing neo-Renaissance building housing one of the oldest high schools in the city. It's a significant center of knowledge that has educated generations of Logroñeses. This architectural ensemble reflects the growth of Logroño in contemporary times and the importance placed on education and science. We now cross the Parque del Carmen to discover the remnants of the city's ancient walls. Here, we stand before the last sections of the medieval fortifications that once protected the city. Built in the 13th century, these defenses were largely demolished in the 19th century to allow for urban expansion. The Paseo dell'Espolón is the preferred meeting spot for Logroñeses to enjoy the paseo, the traditional evening stroll. At its center stands a majestic monument to General Espartero, a renowned military figure and politician from the city. This equestrian statue pays tribute to the man who served as a prime minister 3 times and was regent of the kingdom. We now leave Logroño to discover one of Alania's most precious treasures, the salt pans of Añana. Before us stretches an extraordinary landscape shaped by more than 6,000 years of history. An entire valley transformed into a vast checkerboard of wooden terraces, where humans and nature work together to harvest white gold. These waters, rising from the depths, carry a secret that dates back 200 million years. They are the remnants of an ancient sea, now offering salt of exceptional purity. We observe this maze of wooden channels winding through the valley. Through this ingenious network, salty water slowly flows into over 5,000 evaporation basins. There, under the sun's rays, nature completes its work. The water evaporates, revealing precious salt crystals. In this setting suspended between sky and earth, the gestures of the salt workers perpetuate an ancient craft, as their skilled hands delicately harvest the fine crystalline crust, just as generations before them have done. It's worth noting that booking a tour allows you to discover all stages of salt production and to walk along the walkways, overlooking this astonishing checkerboard. We leave the Añana salt pans, leaving behind its millennia-old white terraces to head towards Vitoria, the capital of Álava. Our first stop takes us to the peaceful Bishop Fernández de Pierola Gardens, where a surprising encounter awaits us. There, at the foot of the majestic cathedral, an unusual fountain catches our eye. El Cocodrilo de la Catedral. A crocodile statue seems to stand guard, playfully contrasting with the solemnity of the place. Looking up, we then discover the imposing silhouette of the Cathedral Nueva that towers over the neighborhood. This neo-Gothic cathedral tells a story of perseverance that spans more than half a century. It was here, in 1907, that King Alfonso XIII laid the first stone of what would become one of Spain's largest cathedrals. Only the one in Seville surpasses in its size. Its dimensions impress us. 118 meters long, 62 meters wide, a stone giant capable of holding up to 1,200 worshippers. Construction was halted by World War I and then by the Spanish Civil War, only to be completed in 1973. This long gestation is revealed in its materials. The lower part displays noble stones extracted from Basque and Navarrese quarries, while the upper sections reflect the evolution of techniques with the use of concrete and artificial stone. On a small cobblestone square stands the impressive silhouette of El Caminante. This nearly 4-meter-tall statue depicts a pilgrim on the move, staff in hand and gaze fixed on the horizon. Erected in 2011, it pays tribute to the thousands of walkers who pass through Vitoria each year on the Camino de Santiago. We now head toward to the historic heart of the city, and our steps lead us to the Plaza de España, where the imposing 19th century neoclassical town hall stands, framed by elegant arcades that perfectly embody the spirit of the Álava capital. The arcades surrounding the square now house cafes and shops, and it's here that we take a well-deserved break. A few minutes' walk brings us to the Plaza de la Virgen Blanca, the nerve center of the Basque capital since the 13th century. To the southeast stands in original creation, a living sculpture formed from 2 plant species that spells out Vitoria-Gasteiz. Measuring 7 meters long and 3 meters high, this once ephemeral artwork has become permanent symbol since the city was named European Green Capital in 2012. The eye is immediately drawn by the imposing central cenotaph, which tells a crucial chapter of history, the Battle of June 21, 1813, which freed the Basque provinces from Napoleonic rule. Gabriel Borra's monument rises in 3 stages. At its base, life-size sculptures depict General Álava and the townspeople welcoming the victors as the French retreat. Higher up, cast in bronze, the Duke of Wellington leads the charge that forced Napoleon's army to flee towards Pamplona and beyond the Pyrenees. This decisive victory, which cost the lives of over 5,000 Allied soldiers, is crowned by a winged figure holding an olive branch and the Spanish flag. Dominating the square to the north, the San Miguel Church, the city's oldest temple built in 1181, houses a White Virgin, the patroness of the city. Inside, the Baroque altarpiece, by Gregorio Fernandez, the result of 8 years' work between 1624 and 1632, attest to the artistic richness of the site, now recognized as a cultural heritage of interest. We arrive at the Plaza del Machete, originally known as Plaza de los Bueyes due to its cattle market. It was renamed Plaza del Machete in 1806. Its name recalls a unique tradition. The city's rulers were once required to take an oath before a machete stored in a niche of San Miguel Church, under the threat of the death penalty if they failed to uphold the laws. Created in 1787, this square initially served as a link between the fortified medieval city and the new neighborhoods below. Housed in a former 16th century palace, the Monte Hermoso Cultural Center has become the main artistic hub of Vitoria. Completely renovated in a contemporary style, it features exhibition spaces, performance and conference halls, and a vast library. Its eclectic program highlights Basque creativity, from visual arts to live performances, cinema, and literature. a true cultural crossroads open to all audiences. This building itself is worth a visit, with its Renaissance facade, adorned with elegant arches and a central courtyard designed as an agora. We now head towards the Casco Viejo, the medieval quarter of Vitoria, a maze of cobblestone streets and shady squares where time seems to stand still. But the true jewel of the district is, without a doubt, the Santa Maria Cathedral, a majestic Gothic fortress that has watched over the city for over 8 centuries. Built in the 13th century on the remains of an old Romanesque church, Santa Maria is a masterpiece of Gothic art. With its powerful buttresses and massive towers, it resembles a fortress more than a sanctuary. A few steps away, we stand before the medieval walls that once encircled the entire city. Erected in the 13th century, much of these walls were demolished in the late 19th century to allow for urban expansion. Nevertheless, beautiful sections remain, like the one here. These high limestone walls, punctuated with towers, immerse us in the atmosphere of fortified Vitoria. Now, onward to the Plaza de la Burrujeria, the vibrant heart of the Casco Viejo. Here, layers of time overlap in fascinating visual strata. The facades of traditional Basque houses, some dating back to the 15th century, rise 3 to 4 stories high, silent witnesses of medieval architecture. But today, their century-old walls serve as a canvas for contemporary expression. Colorful graffiti interacts with the ancient stone, creating a striking contrast between past and present. This square perfectly embodies the spirit of Vitoria, a city that harmoniously blends its rich heritage with modern urban creativity. The Plaza de la Provincia, dominated by the magnificent palace of the province, home to the Álava Provincial Council. It impresses with its 19th century neoclassical architecture. The palace's imposing facade, with its columns and triangular pediment, gives the square a solemn atmosphere. The cobbled pedestrian square is an important thoroughfare connecting several shopping streets in the city center. And it's here that we stop at a small restaurant to enjoy some tortillas and pinchos. Our day is coming to an end. From Logroño to Vitoria, passing through the Añana salt flats, we've traveled through regions of countless facets, where history and traditions blend seamlessly with the present. In Logroño, we felt the pulse of the old town, moving between tapas and monuments, savoring the Riojan way of life. The Añana salt pans offered us a unique spectacle, a testament to millennia-old craftsmanship. A lunar landscape where human patience transforms water in white crystals, preserving an ancient tradition, a place outside of time, where nature and labor unite in harmony. Finally, Vitoria captivated us with its elegance and dynamism. From the medieval walls to the cobblestone streets of the Casco Viejo, from the Gothic cathedral to the green spaces, the capital of Álava skillfully balances heritage and modernity. This journey to the heart of the Spanish Basque Country has ultimately offered us a range of experiences as rich as they are diverse. From grand landscapes to character-filled towns, from preserved tradition to creative spirit, this captivating land still has surprises in store. Thank you for joining us on this adventure. We hope we've inspired you to set out on your own journey through the Spanish Basque Country, uncovering its hidden treasures. See you soon for new discoveries.